So in the last video, what we did was basically we set up the project, and in this video we are going to set up the player input. So currently we have created the base class for our players, but we have not created a player input or anything like that. And because I understand most of you are beginners, so we are going to do it in C++ and even explain what things does. So let's open our C++ code which we created, so we can just so now we have the C++ code open. Let's go to base character.h and then public. And we have this function called to bind functionality to input. And it says virtual void setup player component class this and override. So basically we are overriding a child component class. So what this means is basically basically a input component, player input component, something like this would be set up in the basic a character class, and it has now been overridden in this C++ class, so which we are going to call here. So that is the first thing, and now the next is we need to create functions for everything, like void move forward, void move backward, so that basically when a user press W, then what happens. So for that we need a function, so that is like void move forward. So let's go and create a protected section because everything is in C++, so we don't need we don't need it to be public. So make void move forward, and this should have an input of float x's value. Now this event will be called whenever the user presses W, and we will be like binding this to the W key in a few minutes. So don't worry if you don't understand, but as soon as we bind it, you will get the flow. Then we have void move right float x's value, and then we also have void look up float x's value, and we also have the functions for void turned x's value, and lastly we have a function for jumping. Now let's create the definition for first one, then the second one, same with the third. Yeah, so this move forward class, now we are going to call like bind the W key to the move forward, but that key can be named anything in the input settings. Maybe you have named that move forward or move forward 1, move forward 2. So we will be setting it from the blueprint of the player character of what key we assign for that. So how we do that? So we will create an F string in this public section, which will be open to be changed from the blueprints. So create public variables, and the first one is u property. So basically u property defines a variable in Unreal Engine in C++, and this should be blueprint read and write, so that we can change it from the blueprints. And also we need to make it edit anywhere, and the category should be maybe br variables. Now whenever you press basically whenever the u property is defined somewhere, and if you have a comment above it, then the explanation of u property has been taken as this variable. What this means is I will show in a second, but whenever you hover over a variable, it will show you the description. So whenever you create comments which are not related to the variable, give a space between them and just add a comment related to that variable. Like, what is this? Define setting for move forward. Sorry, define input key for move forward. And this should be a f string, and name this move forward key, and just like that. Now you may copy this, and basically we are just going to make it for all the keys we are going to use. So we can directly name this like that. So then we have the move right key, we have turning key, turn key, key, and lastly the lookup key. And we can just change the names in the comments also. And here we are done. Then go to your base character back, and now we are going to bind this axis. So basically you move in an axis like where you have constant value in flow. Like if it is 0, then the player doesn't move forward, but if it is 1, then the player moves on the axis. So we are going to bind this here in this setup player input. So we will call player input component, and then we will just bind the axis and then get the text. So here we will pass in an f name and a user class object and the delegate which we want to fire when this axis name is pressed. So how do we assign the access key will be discussed ahead, but let's create a f name. And as we already have a variable for our key which is named as basically move forward key, so we will pass an star and get the variable from there. So as we have made the variable in string, we are converting it to an f name now. And let's add a comma and then pass an object which is this. And then we have a method which needs to be fired whenever this move forward key is pressed. So this is basically press and key, then call the base character. So sorry, we needed to call a base character and then move forward. So whenever the move forward key is pressed, we need to call this move forward option. Same way we need to do with the others. So we can just copy this, and we have move right key, and we can change the function to move right. Then we have this look up and turn, look up key, and look up function. Then we have the turn key and turn. So let's have these four functions first. We will work on the jump in a few minutes when we have the characters ready. So now let's back and check if we get any issues. So let's just rerun, press on that rerun button. So now the engine is open. So let's go to content drawer, blueprints. So if you do not have that blueprints folder, I will delete this so that I can show you. Right click, add a new folder, name this blueprints, then add a new folder and let's rename this and name this to characters. And okay, so this is a very common bug where whenever you create a new folder it gets lost. So you can right click at this location and then create a folder and then it doesn't go away. And I will name this character and then right click blueprint class and search for base character as your base class. And we have this base character here. Select and name this BP character. Now, if we open this BP character, it would be very empty at this moment. We only have the capsule, the mesh, and nothing else. But the thing is, if we press on class defaults, we will have four variable names. We have variables, that is the move forward key, move right key, turn key, and lookup key. So let's define them. So how do we define them? Basically we have to add input keys. So look, go to settings, project settings, and then input, and then we have the axes and action mappings. Now just to let you know, are now depreciated. Use enhance input actions and input mapping contexts only. So in a future video you will be seeing how to upgrade these to your enhanced input actions. So for now we are going to create axis mappings. The first one is move forward custom. I'm just adding custom so that we can show you how to add basically the key with a custom name. Then select this, press this button, and we will use W to move forward and S to move backward. So when we are moving backward, the scale should be -1. Then we will add a new axis mapping, name this move right custom. Keys should be A and D. Again, normally A is the -1 value. Although this you can always interchange and multiply later by -1 depending upon whatever side you want. So that should not be a problem for you. Then add a new key, make it turn, and add one more. And I will just add 10 custom, and I will add one more and lookup custom. Just save all. So basically the turn custom event is the mouse X. So so you can just press on this and search for mouse X, and here you can search for mouse Y and just save all. Now copy the first key, put this in the variable for move forward. Copy the second key, put this on the move right. Copy the third one, put this here. And lastly, we have the lookup custom. So just copy this and put this on the lookup. Now compile and copy paste. Now here we will select our game mode. So we do not have a game mode, and that's why we cannot change our pawn. So we will just go back, go to blueprints, create a new folder for game, then right click, create a new blueprint class and select the blueprint, or maybe base, nope, game mode. And yes, battle royale course game mode base, select this. Although in the later stage of this videos we are going to create custom game mode, but we already have a C++ game mode, so we will select that and name this BP game mode. Now maybe you can drag this and put it here. And now in the default pawn we will select the BP character, and the player state should be base controller. Sorry, I meant the player controller. And for the map, we will just don't save that. We can even make choose files to select and untick the untitled label because we are just testing out and now we can play. So now basically we do not have any logic for moving forward. So let's go back to our C++ class for move forward, and then we will just simply add the movement input for our move forward. So we can just get the actor forward vector, then multiply it by with the axis value, and this will add the movement input for that. Same way for the right, we can just add movement input and get actor right vector, and we can multiply it to axis value and done. For the lookup, we can write the code later so that we can just check if everything's working and rerun. So before that, let's check if everything is saved in Unreal Engine. Yeah, don't save this, just restart now. And now just select the VP game mode here, and now let's try playing. Let's land on the ground firstly. And now we can move forward, move right, and things are looking pretty good. So that is it for this video. We will in the next one set up our character, set the meshes, and then move a little bit more forward, as at this point we do not have the meshes, so things are not that clear. So we will in the next one set up that and set the inputs. So that is it for this video. Thanks for watching.